Hi everyone, Eugene here at Panasonic, and today I have with me two of our brand new cameras, the S1 Mark II and the S1R Mark II, and we're going to talk about how to customize your focus settings for best video shooting functionality on the cameras. So what I'm going to show you is actually available on both cameras. Right here in front of me I actually have the S1R, and essentially you can do the same thing for the S1 Mark II as well, and the E. So the first thing that I'd like to mention is that you can obviously switch the camera from manual focus or autofocus. So I'll just really briefly show you how you can do that, and then we'll go into the autofocus settings. So the first thing to keep in mind is that there's two separate settings depending on the lens that you're using. You might have a lens like this one here, and I'm gonna actually show it to this other camera here. We can see that there is an AF and MF lever here on the lens, and we can switch between them. So by doing that, now the lens is set to manual focus. The camera, however, it's still into autofocus. So in the same way, if we switch the camera on the other side, again, just to make sure that I have the right part in focus here, you can see this lever, and on it we can see manual focus, basically C and S is for autofocus continuous and autofocus single. So to switch it to manual focus, just move that lever over there into manual focus, and then if I switch now the camera here, again we can actually show you what the camera looks like, and I can just rotate this dial and I can control the focus completely manually. Hopefully you can see that and how it's actually changing. By using the focus peaking setting, we can see where the focus is, and right now I know it's directly on my little bonsai tree and the camera, the old camcorder that I have over there. Okay, so that's manual focus. We're gonna go into autofocus now. So just like before, I'm gonna switch the camera lens back to autofocus. And then on the lever here, for now I'm going to go with autofocus continuous, but just so you know, you can switch to autofocus single as well if you want to have, but basically when you have a more stable non-moving subject. When you have a moving subject, autofocus continuous is a lot better. All right, so now we know how to switch between manual focus and autofocus. There's actually two additional settings to keep in mind for further customization. The first one is the autofocus mode, and to actually change this, I'm just going to show you here quickly on the camera. There is a little square button, and if you press this one, there's another sub-menu that comes up. And I can show you now directly on the camera what that menu has. Essentially, we can switch between tracking, full area autofocus. We have a line, we have a horizontal focus, but that's not available in this particular mode. So please bear in mind that the mode that your camera is in might have an impact on the settings that you can access in the menu or in some of these customization options that we have on the camera. So that's why that's grayed out. Right now we have the zone autofocus, we then have one area plus, one area, and then we have pinpoint, which again is not available in this particular mode. And essentially, if I just kind of cycle through them, I can show you here, we can select the subject with the tracking and so on. I'm not going to go in depth on that in this particular video. But there are two additional settings that we have here. We actually have the two arrows. So you can see the up arrow says AF detection on and off, AF area down. We can turn this on, and now all of a sudden I have all those eyes on every single mode. That simply means that we have the AF detection enabled. And if we press down, we can actually select what that area is going to be. If I go back now, and I press the disc button, I can see that now we have the actual detecting subject. So it switches between human, animal, car, motorcycle and bike, train and airplane. And then for the human, we have eye, face and body, which is a little bit more flexible, specific for eye and face. And then a brand new setting for the S1 Mark II series of cameras, urban sports. Okay, So we have that. So up until now, we talked about manual focus and autofocus. We talked about how you can set the autofocus single or continuous. We then talked about autofocus modes, but there is another level of customization that we can do directly in the menu, and that is essentially customizing the sensitivity and the speed for the autofocus. So I'm going to show you now how you can do that, and I'm going to switch back again to the camera screen here. And if I press the menu button, just go into your first motion picture settings. You can see there 1, and then go to the right, and then scroll all the way down until you can see this focus setting. Go to the right again, and then you can see here again the same settings we looked at before. So we have the autofocus detection setting on, detecting subject, and then we have the AF custom setting for video. If we go in here, we have 3 additional options. On simply means enabling whatever settings were preset before. Off means it's turned off, and then we have set, and set allows us to customize these 2 settings that I just mentioned. So if we go in there, we have autofocus speed and sensitivity, and you can see there's quite a lot of resolution on both of these. So now if you're thinking about shooting some kind of fast-paced scene like sports, for example, or cars, then you probably want to go with the higher autofocus speed and sensitivity, so it's a lot snappier. And if you have a slower subject, or you want to have those slow transition in focus, then you can use a slower setting. And please go ahead, play with them on every single scene that you're shooting, and you're going to find out there's quite a lot of flexibility to enable your creativity and get the results that you want. All right, so hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.